Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it. It's Wednesday, August the 27th, 2025. Thank you for joining me once again. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, mi familias, down south in the United States of the Americas, over there in Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia's. Welcome back. Dun 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 dun. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me from the get-go, you know what it is. So the journey continues. Just get a sip of this and we'll get right into it. I do apologize in advance today. And moving forward, I apologize in advance. But they say also don't ever apologize. But I'm going to I'll just nip it in the bud, address the elephant in the room. Yes, did your boy pick up a couple of dumbbells? Did your boy get swole over the past 2 days? Did your boy just purchase some dumbbells on the Amazons and start working out with weights once again? The burnage is real. Sensations, unbearable. Pain all through my body, yes. It's working. I don't know at this point. I don't know. I'm 35. I've only been doing body weight exercises for a really long time. I decided I looked at the weights and I've been telling myself, well, you should get weights or a kettlebell or just a heavy elderly person, just fucking lift them up over your head, or like a quadriplegic or something that doesn't know what's going on, just lift them and use them as weights. But I'm like, nah, those are way too difficult to move around in case you need to move, and you never know what this kind of gypsy lifestyle will lead you to do. So you never know where you're going to be on the move once again. So I'm like, let's not get anything super heavy, but I was eyeing it, and it's been a long time since I've lifted weights. It's been some time. It's been over a decade. It's only been calisthenics and, squatties, sit-ups, push-ups, bare minimums. But your boy goes for the hikes. Your boy goes for the daily hikes, which is nice. Walking good, 6-8 kilometers every day. Fall, winter, summer, spring. I saw these weights. I'm like, let's just get them. But I was eyeing the 45. So I was eyeing the 40, thinking back to my more youthful days, when your boy was on steroids and just fucking flipping over 18-wheelers and ripping trees out of the ground, root and all, baby boy, baby girl. That's how it was with the juicy juice. God, I miss the steroids. The strength alone. Forget the aesthetics. Forget the bulk and everything. Just the strength alone. I was eyeing these dumbbells. I'm like, 45 should be fine. And I'm like, no, you haven't lifted weights, and let's not go 45s. And I was right. I'm so glad I didn't get the 45s, because your boy settled on something very small, nothing fancy. We're starting bare minimum. Who knows? I might not fit in the camera thing, the aperture, the flash. I might not fit in the frame. Is what it's just industry jargon. Sorry to go. I didn't mean to go too inside baseball there. I do apologize. Reel it back in here. But I started with 12 and a half. No, just 12s, no halves. I don't know where the half came from. I got excited. Let me bump it up a little bit. No, I was looking at the 10s and the 12s. I got me a couple of dumbbells, 12 pounds. And I've been lifting for the past 3 days, and my body is sore. Ladies and gentlemen, my body is aching everywhere. It's like somebody took a baseball bat to my entire body, but it feels good, sorta, which is a little bit of masochism in there, a little bit, but the high you get from working out, they say it's worth it. That too. I did pass out a couple of times, not really pass out, but I did roll on the floor, not being able to get up after weighted squatties, which doing it is fine. The first day you're fine, because you're just testing the ground. Let's just see how it goes. It's nice. You feel the burn. That's good. The following day is when the shit actually hits the fan, when you get up and everything is sore because you've not lifted any weights over, personally speaking, over a decade. I've not touched weights in over 10 years. So second day, your boys, everything was aching. My asshole was pulsating. I wanted to leave. A little note was dropped on the floor from my asshole. We are just pondering leaving your body. And I said, well, good luck. Take me with you if you can. Hamstrings burning, calves burning, quads burning, biceps. It hurts to hold this cup right now. It hurts to, but that's what I does. I hurt, so though you don't have to, or maybe you do. Then let's hurt together. God, it hurts. Yeah, thank God I didn't go with my eyes because I was, oh, let's just go with the 45s, bro. You get the 45s, you start lifting, next thing you know, Jack City. Oh, I would have prolapsed on the ground. Prolapse, just full blown. I would have probably done like a full set and then prolapsed, and then breaking news. Local, local/global YouTube sensation. Prolapses from working out. It's not how your boy wants to go out. Boy doesn't ever want to go out. Like physically, I do want to go out, but that's, aging and death and shit. Fuck that. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. But it's good. Pain is good. Pain is pleasure. And yes, before you know it, yes, because I already did have trouble walking in through doors with these giant broad shoulders. God, that hurts to put that cup down, but we're gonna get through this. You're in control of your body. Oh, pain is only mental. It only hurts so bad, but it's good. I like the pain. Oh, pain is good, ladies and gentlemen. That's neither here or there. Let's not get into the pain. I wanted to share that with you. And if you're out there, because I get excited. I see athletic people. It reminds me of my, I don't want to, let's not overstretch this term. Or, when you're younger, you're a little bit more athletic as to when you gradually start aging and whatnot. But I saw this Tumblr. I saw this young Azerbaijani, I don't know how old he is. I think maybe like 18, 19, 20. He's like a gymnast or like a tumbler or some shit. And he broke a world record. He ran and then he started tumbling whilst running. Tumbled maybe 7-8 times, full blown, like exhilarating shit. Not like slow motion. I'm just gonna stand here and do one running, flipping, and then the run turned it into a flip. The running and the flipping just turned into one thing. I don't even know how you do that, but he did like 7-8 of those, and then he jumped in the air, and then he did 3 full flips, 3 in full speed, which apparently broke a record for most flips. I don't know what he does, but I think he's a tumbler. Check it out. It's incredible. If I had that, I would never walk anywhere. You'd never see me walk anywhere normally. I'd be like, let's go out. Let's cross this street. I'll see you on the other side of this sidewalk for a second. Let me just get to this intersection. And I start tumbling down, just flipping. Why would you walk like a normie when you can flip and tumble? God, that was so exciting. I would just, I would go out a food court, potentially with a date, with a lady, and then stand on one side of the food court and be like, pick any of these, reasonably priced items on the value menu. And then I'd fucking tumble all the way, just flipping all the way there and then flipping back with the food in hand. I do that. I don't have that ability, but it's nice to see it, because I saw that. I'm like, oh, you got to get the weights. You can't tumble, but you got to get the weights. And I did that, and it feels all right. It feels good. A little bit of pain, but you start somewhere. And again, kept a minimal, again, body weight exercises. But I'm like, let's just. And if you're out there, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to gain weight, if you're trying to just maintain whatever, just to be healthy a little bit, just toss it in, do something. I'm in so much pain right now, but it's so worth it. It pays in dividends down the line. You're investing in yourself. They say that. But then the people, the centenarians, like 127, never fucking lifted weights, but still there's something to it. It feels good. This is what I'm telling myself. Sure could use a hug right now. Speaking of hugs, let's just get a sip of this. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be fucking Trap City in just 3 months. No neck, just Look at that. He's got calves on his shoulders. I want to grow new muscles or something. But I miss the steroids. Just letting you know. If it was cheaper and more accessible, I just fucking. If they were just tossing around, $20 steroids at the local drug mart, I'd jump in there right. It's not even. It's the strength. It's the recovery too, because I'm in so much pain right now. If I could just stab myself in the ass with just a couple of injections, just give it to me. Down the line, who knows? Maybe in our later years. But again, going back to wanting a hug right now, watched a beautiful video of Kim Jong-un hugging soldiers who've apparently gone and allegedly, I don't know the full deets, soldiers, North Korean soldiers who've gone to Russia to help Russia fight Ukrainian soldiers, you know, the whole mess, it's a thing. But then they had a ceremony, the soldiers that came back, they were, I guess, paying tribute to lost lives of their soldiers, and then Kim Jong-un was hugging the soldiers and giving them medals, or I don't know what the whole, you know, festivities is all about. Mostly probably about Kim Jong-un. But he gives a good hug. I saw that video. He gives a solid hug. Low key, Kim Jong-un, if you're watching, the odds are slim, but you never know. They say put it out there, and if you give a good hug, star. You know, don't agree with everything you do. Mostly, you know, and again, but he gives a good solid. He does. You guys, if you've not seen this video, go watch him giving hugs to soldiers. As he brings you in like a you know, you know, a little bit of an abusive, you know, father or stepfather, depending on your stitch, doesn't matter. A little bit of abuse in the household. You see it, and because he pulls you in. Oh, and you see the soldiers, the people. You hug them, a little bit terrified, but a little bit low key, still in there. It's the love is in there somewhere, like deep down inside. And yeah, not having too many people in my life to give hugs to or get hugs from. It saw that, I'm like, bring it in. I wanted to just reach out. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So if you're out there, just letting you know, I'm at that point right now. I'm at that point in life where I'm like, oh, I will grab you and I might just hug you for a second, sir. Just let's just enjoy this father-son moment together. Get off me, stranger, he'll say. And you say get off me, but you really mean bring it in tighter there, big fella, don't ya? And it's not gay. I thought about this. Totally not gay to want to, because it's been a long time. No physical father figures in your boy's life for a really long time. Just every once in a while. It's just, you know, it's gone way better, and you know, you grow to become and you're never gonna whatever. The point is, I just saw it. It was a nice fatherly figure, despite say what you will about the man, and I've got my thoughts about it. Probably not the nicest place to live in, but still, the hugs were solid. I'll say that. And no homo, just pure man-to-man hugging. And it would have been nice after workout to have somebody just pull you in and be like, hey, let's just take this in and I don't know, touch man breasts for 7 seconds. Bring it in, 7 seconds. No homo. Anything under 10, no homo. Anything over 10, slightly homoerotic. Not that we judge here, we just want to draw a boundary and say what it is, when it is what it is. It is what it is. And it was a nice hug. Again, no homo, just some sort of oh, you did good. Rest on these shoulders for 5, 4, 3. Fill the void in your heart that'll never be properly filled anyway. Just take it in. Who's a good boy? Full regression. And scene. The point is that it was a good time watching that hug go down. I'm just saying. Hug a fella or a lady, especially if you got a mom and dad nearby. Fucking hug them. Anyways, what's going on in you guys' lives? Thank you for joining me once again. What else is going on in and around the world? Birds and light pollution, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently birds in urban cities, in urban areas of the world are going to sleep an hour late or staying up a little bit longer compared to their counterparts, the rural birds, which just go to bed at a regular hour. And what do these birds do in the cities? I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to be the judge. Regular birds, you know, chirp, chirp, get up early, catch the whole worm, chew it up, spit it in your baby birds' mouths, regurgitate a little bit of regurgitation for the family unit. That is the family unit of the birds family. Family unit. One more time, family unit of the birds, who are indeed a family unit. Yeah, but these birds in urban areas are apparently staying an hour longer, and who knows what they're doing. And this is just, researchers recently found this, and who knows? Yeah, because regular birds, they'll do that activity during the day. You'll see them just couple of Neck moves, couple of just beeping and bopping and booping. Couple of just, let me just hop on this bench, let me hop on that branch, just scout the area, and then let me just hop back to the ground because I want to just be grounded. I want to be zen. I want to touch the earth with my bare feet, get a little bit of sun gazing. Oh, what is that? A bug. Just gonna peck at that bug. Let's fight over this scrap piece of sandwich together, shall we? Oh, I'm on a treetop once again. What's going on? A squirrel. I'm just gonna relocate. Didn't really like this. Don't care for this tree branch. Plenty of tree branches. Squirrel, dumb squirrel that can't fly. Look at me. Look at me spread my wings, you dumb. Oh, best you could do is probably hop from branches. Look at this. And then they'll take flight. That's typical classic bird activities. But what happens in the after hours is what we're interested in here at our research facilities, ladies and gentlemen. The birds who are living in urban areas have apparently been reported to take up gambling, the dice game, addictions to drugs and alcohol. Households are falling apart because of these birds who stay up an hour later. They are going online, watching porn, gambling online, because that's now a huge industry. They don't need to travel for miles and miles. They can just grab their phone, stay up late and gamble. And they don't have a lot of money either, so it's already hard for them. But these are just some of the activities that the birds in urban areas are partaking in. And it leads us to think, what is light pollution doing to the humans who live in areas where it's heavily light polluted? Do they stay up longer? Do they engage in promiscuous activities or slash borderline questionable slash dangerous activities, which are fun for a little bit of time, but then again, at the end of the day, live it up. Live it up, who knows? The point is that, yeah, I wonder what kind of effect it's gonna have on birds. I think we already know from the evidence, and I wonder what kind of evidence is gonna lead to us thinking what kind of, outcomes are gonna come out of the whole light pollution with humans staying up late, really late, which makes me think of New York City, where the city that never sleeps, just a bunch of insomniacs, just, drinking heavily caffeinated power drinks, energy drinks, sniffing things, walking at all odd hours of the day and night. The city that never sleeps, proudly never sleeps. Get some sleep, New York. Low-key, I'm worried about you, but low-key, that's your thing, so I'm not worried about you. You know what to do. You got it. You got it under cover, New York. You got it under control. You got it over cover. You got it over. You know what I'm talking about, New York. New York City. It's neither here or there, ladies and gents. What have you been talking about? A lot of fun stuff. Body snatching is taking place in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to gently put this cup down, because that's what I normally does. As I all good, all good. Oh yeah. UK body snatching is on the rise apparently in the UK. Legal grey areas have left a void in the area of body snatching and grave digging and grave robberies. Apparently there's a market. It's kind of on the rise. I don't know what kind of people are doing it, but they're doing it. They're snatching up bodies, digging up bones, and selling it to people who collect bones of human beings. Should it be legal? Should it be illegal? What to do with your dead bodies? That is a question. What do you want to, pros and cons of this shit? Do you want to have people being able to snatch up bodies and dig them up and dust off your granddad's skull and sell it on the regular gray market? Not quite black, not quite white, just a gray market. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, I miss my grandpa. And next thing you know, you're hanging out with your friend. Next thing you know, he's got a chain around his neck. Next thing you know, your granddad's skull is hanging from your boy's chain. What's that all about, Fred? And Fred's just been into, recently collecting bones and human bones and skulls. So he'll just let you in on this little hobby that he's got going. And you'll be like, that skull looks kind of familiar. It's kind of shaped like the head of my granddad rather. And he'll be like, I don't know anything about it. Fred will say that. And all your life you'll be wondering, 10, 20 years, 30 years of friendship. And every time you hang out with Fred, he's got this skull. And taunting you. It's kind of haunting as well. You wonder yourself, could it be my granddad's skull? Probably not, but very well maybe. It could be. And for that, little by little, you'll grow resentment. Resentment towards your friend. Freddie, the skull wearing friend. The skull necklace wearing friend. Freddie, that friend. And little by little, you'll hold it against him. And I don't know what you'll do in 20, 30 years. But something is brewing, and you better figure it out. How do I feel about it? I mean, once a person is dead, as you know what to do to, they do say respect the dead, don't touch the dead. Respect it, because it probably came from like way back, and probably from diseases that accumulated quickly in the decaying body of a human. You want to just get away from that decayed body as soon as possible, bury it so it doesn't carry diseases and jump onto others and cause like a plague or something. But that's with flesh on it. But what about just bones? What if you could somehow preserve the body? What about this? What about because if what if you not the whole body, because that'd be difficult to carry around, but I'm talking maybe a lover, your wife or your husband passes away. Maybe just maybe just chop off a hand, preserve the hand, dangle the hand from a necklace, wear that as a piece. What a statement that is. Ooh, well, who are you wearing? And you could say that's my dead husband or wife or groomer. We were closer actually than husband and wife. You'll say that, but you could do that. You probably can, but I'm just saying maybe you tossing out ideas there, and it's. Because a whole graveyard is to you bury the dead, and then there's the tombstone, and these are all ways you could remember a person. But what better way to remember a person by always carrying them with you, or at least a part of them with you? And some people say that too. When people die, they never do that. They stay inside your heart and your head, but they could stay on your body too. That should be for lovers. I mean, if your man dies, if you're that's fucking my guy till I fucking join you. Not a fan of chopping off penises, but after death, why not chop off a penis and make that into a necklace and hang it around, and just especially if he's got a good piece. So you let the others know. That though the ring on your finger has been removed, and though you are now available on the market, fellas, take a look at this. Take a look at this cock between my tits. That's my, late husband's, or a vag, just, again, not a live vag. Once your lover passes away, maybe just carve the vag and make it into a wallet. Make it into a wallet. How great is that? Fellas are always bulky wallet. Hurts my back. Scoliosis this, arthritis that. Nothing can provide you with as much room as a vag. You've seen what they put inside there sometimes. It's got plenty of room for your cards. Come on. Get it in there. MasterCard, Visa, debit, an ID perhaps. Let me just reach inside my vag wallet, courtesy of my dead wife. Thank you. She did have a great vag. We had a great time together. Oh, there it is. And you whip out your ID and boom, you're on your way. Alcohol intact. Weed from the dispensary picked up. Groceries, don't need an ID for that, but anything, any excuse to just whip out your vag wallet. Got to pay for it somehow. Your debit card's in there, isn't it? So whip it out anyway. I'd say leave it on the counter whenever you are visiting stores. Just gonna do a little bit of a roam around this shop, see what sizes fit me, what's in style, right? I'm just gonna leave my wallet on this counter, my vag wallet, courtesy of my dead wife. You can say that. But we're talking about bones, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Personally speaking, I probably wouldn't, I'm not the type that's gonna go collect these items, but apparently there's a market for it, and is it disrespectful? What's more disrespectful than burying a person that you loved, 6 feet below the ground? If you're carrying their bones, that's probably, if we're talking respect-wise, it's better to be, a little bit of you is better to be outside with the regular alive people as opposed to all of you being underground. That sucks. If we're comparing, I'm just saying. Because that way, the worms in the ground will eventually skull fuck you until there's nothing left. Whereas if you got a skull of your dead loved ones, or even a stranger, at least you could do a kind thing for a stranger. Talk about some sort of, karmic equity that you're building up. At least, this random stranger's skull is not getting skull fucked by a bunch of worms. You'll say that, maybe not even out loud, but internally you might say that. And that should count for something, doing something. Better than the others who bury the dead. Think about that. Or even worse, the burnage. Although that one does it, pros and cons of everything. The burnage, what about that? Cremation, dust. I love you so much, I'm gonna just turn you into dust. I'm gonna burn you in an oven at a really high temperature until there's nothing left, and you're probably gonna be mixed in with other people's dead relatives. It's just gonna be a collective dust, but I'll just symbolically take this pile of dust and say that this is my loved one, and I'll put it in like a vase, or maybe I'll spread it and just toss you out into the open air, and you'll land somewhere. There you go. You're scattered all over the place. People think it's a great idea. Scatter my ashes, people will say that. You'll end up everywhere. Some of you might end up in the river. Some of you might end up in a lake, and that might go into water refinery factory. And next thing you might end up in sewage. Particles of your dead loved ones might end up in the sewage system, floating with billions, trillions probably of tons of shit. And you're like, oh, I love my, whoever. And so, which is better, ladies and gentlemen? Which is more respectful? Carrying a little bit of the dead with you, or doing the alternatives, which we've just mentioned, burying them, burning them. What else is there? Some people do plant themselves under a tree, or get they become a part of a tree, and you're like, that's my tree dad now. That's my tree wife. Just, and then you could do that too. So there's a lot of options. Yeah, how do I feel about it? I'm not gonna be the first to go and collect, bones from people. That's not my thing. Do I think it should be illegal? I don't quite know, to be honest with you. I'll leave it up to the people. I'll leave it up to you guys. No, I'm gonna say no. No. Just for fun. Because let's not make more things illegal. It's in a gray area right now. I'm just saying it's a niche market too. It's not going to be popping off unless it pops off everywhere, and unless somebody makes a great music video with like dead people's bones, and all of a sudden that track is used in a good movie, and next thing all of a sudden it becomes a fad, and next thing it's the next Labubu. The next thing it's femurs and clavicles, then the people are fucking fighting for it online, because that shit might happen. You never know. So I'll leave it up to the people. You decide. But it is a thing in the UK, and I'm sure it's happening all around the world. Probably not just the UK, because you can't get all your bones from the UK. Some of that shit is coming from Africa, Europe, other parts of Europe, Asia, South America, North America, maybe. Who knows? Cracker Barrel just recently turned an entire population into trans people by changing its logo, getting rid of the old 77 Uncle Herschel logo. Cracker Barrel, the fine dining restaurant experience brought to you by Cracker Barrel & Co., which had a vibe, had a set of values: family, country living, country eating. Cracker Barrel, brought to you by Uncle Herschel and Fam. Regular, no trans, no gay, just pure heterosexual nuclear family. Okay, a little bit of gay, a little bit, but then they decided to get rid of the logo. Uncle Herschel out, trannies in. And what happened? Anytime a company goes ahead, it doesn't even matter with what it is. There's no nuance in this day and age. It's very hard. So this food manufacturing company, this restaurant essentially changed their logo, and overnight they turned everybody trans. Everybody turned trans. Your kids are now trans because there's no Uncle Herschel on the Cracker Barrel logo. There's no nuance with anything. It's people lost their minds. You're like, oh, it's gone woke. Like everything has gone woke. People just, I believe it's fatigue. People want change, but people also don't want change. It's hard to tell when people want change and when people don't want change. Apparently something along with, some things I guess. Some, like if it's a car manufacturing company, I get it. I don't need Jaguar to go and make the cars trans. I just need regular old school trans missions in the cars. That's the type of trans that I want. But a food, I saw this. I'm like, is it a little bit of but then again, I looked outside. People did immediately, the entire populace turned trans just because Uncle Herschel was removed from Cracker Barrel's logo. Trans everywhere. Values lost. Why? Because of Uncle Herschel. Were there plenty of other places where we could have drawn a line? Maybe, but no. Uncle Herschel was immediately, overnight, 24 hours, 36 hours, 42 hours. I don't know how long it went for, but immediately. It was short-lived, but nonetheless, the damage was done. The entire population turned trans. Kids taking, what do you call them? Fucking hormone suppressors. And also extra hormones too. Transitioning, left, right, and center. Adults transitioning, quick, fast. Why? Because of lost values at a restaurant. Is the food relatively the same? It pretty much was, but I'm telling you, that logo meant a lot to a lot of people. People want change, but people want things to remain the same simultaneously. How far? Because I saw this logo. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool logo. It's nice. But how long will we keep to see it? Because we will eventually get, everything will eventually come and go. Nothing ever stays. It's like, but then you look at this logo. It is a nice logo. It's got sentimental value to a lot of people. It's got, traditional, classic, Americana maybe vibes. But then again, how long? Because you're not going to none of these restaurants are going to be here in like 200 years or like 150 years. Most of them, maybe McDonald's will. Maybe, probably McDonald's and like Taco Bell. But like everything else, it'll just be like, and I don't even know, maybe they won't even exist. Who knows what holds for the future? But that's the thing, people lost their minds over this shit, and then immediately Cracker Barrel learned from the mistakes of others and turned back and said, hey, bring back Uncle Herschel, and they brought him back, and immediately all the trans reverted back to regular heterosexual beings, and they got gender detransitioning surgery immediately after the logo was placed back. And Cracker Barrel said, you know what, regular cocks and puss eat in this establishment. Bring your nuclear families and let us not deviate from that ever until the end of time. Let us merge with machines, but let us never lose sight of what is wholesome and right. And that is an old logo of a fast food chain restaurant. I believe it's a fast food chain restaurant. It doesn't matter. The point is, there's no nuance. There's lack of nuance and everything, but we try to find it together. We all try our best to try to find it. But again, we did have 24 to 36 hours of everybody going immediately full trans, and I'm just glad to see it revert back so we can save just, heteronormative people and all that jazz. So it was good. We lost a lot of penises and vaginas. A lot of penises and vaginas were lost. God, Satanism took over. Just bodies morphing, people snapping back and forth between genders. Sometimes there have been reports where people had 2-3 extra vaginas and cocks on their body, on their person. We're still in pursuit and trying to find those fugitives now, but rest assured, Uncle Herschel is back, and we are stronger than ever at this fine dining establishment where you can get food, just the food remained the same throughout this entire experience. But I'm telling you right now, and that is, gotta pay attention to shit. Logos mean a lot. Symbolism means a lot. A lot of things change, but symbols and logos stay. What else is going on? The point is that interesting things are happening in and around the world. I believe, is it a Harvard? I want to say Harvard. Read this, heard this, read a little bit, also heard a little bit about it. It's interesting to me, just like it's probably interesting to you guys. A Harvard professor, Arid, or research, I don't know, to be honest with you. Arid Moab, I hope I'm remembering the name right, has said there is a comet that they've located. It's called 31 Atlas, and it's just whizzing on by, and apparently it's glowing, and we don't know what this glowing is caused by. And their team, maybe Ari himself, is speculating that it might be a nuclear-powered comet, or at that point, it's not just a comet, then is it? It might just be a nuclear-powered, who knows, flying object, unidentified. But it's a theory. It's not, it's not 100%, obviously, and it got me excited. It got me excited because I'm like, shit, son. If it's glowing in the dark, what is it? Is it a star? Is it a shooting star? Is it a, is it just a rock? Why is it glowing? Does it like to, does it like to glow? Does it know that we like things that glow? Is that why it's glowing? Because it sees the light pollution, recognizes the light pollution, thinks that we enjoy the light pollution, comes at us, shows us exactly what we want to see, which is more light pollution, thinking we're gonna welcome it with open arms, to which we say, yes, you know us too well. Flying comet with a glowing tip. You know we like things with glowing tips. Rudolph. Penises. Think about that. Half the population has them. When they do get erect, tip kind of low-key glows, doesn't it? With all the blood punch. There you go. And the other half of the population doesn't have the said glowing penises. And that's why deep down inside they have penis envy, which they formulate at a very young age. I don't say that. Some old fucking twat said that. Freud, you remember that fuck? But nonetheless, the point is that this comet is hurling towards something. It's just whizzing on by, saying hello. Is it aliens? Is it nuclear powered? Should we be low-key a little bit just like, oh, because if it is nuclear powered, then it fucking changes a lot of things, doesn't it? If it's just a rock, no big deal. Even if it's an alien spaceship, the glowing is a little bit of a concern. Because I want to not know and then just have aliens. I don't want to see, don't show us your glowing nuclear powered spaceship that's whizzing in space, and and that's a little bit scary because it's nuclear power, but also a little bit of a bummer, because I'm like, at the end of the day, that's all you got? Nuclear power shit? We got that shit, son. That's our shit, son. Or maybe it was initially yours, and then maybe we got, who knows, but that we have that shit. The point, it doesn't matter where it came from. The point is that we have that shit too. So excited to see you glowing, but also if you want things with glowing tips, right there, dude. 4 billion of them, at least. 4 billion glowing tips. So maybe we should just take a stance like the beautiful Scottish people did, and just flash them wearing kilts, and just show them our flag. You know what I'm talking? Just a group flash, one time. Let us all gather together, do one large global flashing of the skies, and be like, if you want some, come get some of this shit. After we do a heavy workout routine, so we can flex on their ass too. Just let them know, despite the fact that we're in pain, it pays in dividends. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe there is Greenland came on the old radar, and I believe that, I didn't know this. Apparently, I'm not even sure if this is if I understand this correctly or not, but apparently there's a mother in Greenland who gave birth to a baby, and then the baby was removed shortly after from the mother because she failed a parenting test. Apparently. They have these tests in Greenland. I don't know how it works. I don't know who gets I don't know if everybody gets the tests. I don't know if only some people get the tests. But this mother gave birth. They tested her. She failed the test. Kid removed. Snatched from mother. She failed it. I didn't know that's a thing. And it's just one of those interesting ideas. I don't, should we ever have, it's a tricky, the push and pull between so many different ideas and topics. Should people have parenting tests before you become a parent? But then again, you're like, are we giving out licenses to people so that we allow them to have babies? Shouldn't that be everybody's right to have a baby? And then there's pros and cons of, we see that. You see some people, you're like, I'm glad that person's a parent. Great. They're going to raise a fine kid. But then again, it's always a toss-up. You never know until the kid really grows up. And then you see some other people, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Let's just hope that kid is not anything like the parents or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen some parents, you're like, God, you're having a baby. Come on. But then at the end of the day, it all mixes up together. The good and the bad, all of it mixes up together. And this is bringing us to right here today, right here in 2025. Glowing tips, heartfelt logos, fatherly figures with, tight hug games, and a bunch of other shit too. This is where we are, and I don't know. So how do I feel about it? I mean, I think there should be like a little bit more, like maybe there should be parenting courses. It should be like a little bit more in the curriculum while people are just covering, I don't know. Just ideas. I don't even know anything. I'm just, maybe you should learn a little bit more about like, budgeting, finance, building a family. These things maybe should be taught in school, because there's a lot of shit you come out of school, you're like, what did I even learn? What happened in the past like 10, 12, and if you go to like college, and what happened in the past like, however many years? And so, essential life skills should be taught. That's education. I don't know, in terms of like, if you don't want, because and that's simultaneously you have people, populations, nations kind of low key talking about, population decline, people not having births, not having families as much. So I'm just like, there's population decline. There's some places on earth that might have a parenting test. Will we ever like, how could this unravel? I like to think about these kind of things. Will it one day unravel in the future, where parents could only have babies once they're done doing tests to see if they are A, physically and mentally, that's B, capable of producing a child. And then that once again leads us to, as a eugenics, population control. The best babies, only the best babies get to have babies. Only the best genes get to have the good babies, solid babies. Get rid of disease. Why would you want to keep disease? You sick son of a bitch, you'll say that too, which makes sense. Why would you want disease for your kids? So then we should all be tested for so many things. Diseases that we might pass down, of the physical and mental kind, all of it. And then, it's murky. How do I feel about it? I'm also murky. No, I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's. I don't personally like the parenting test. I think it's just despite the fact that it is a toss-up, you never know what you're gonna get. That is, I think, one of our basic instincts and like human things that we do. We come in like, that's one of the things that's one of the main things that we do. We populate the earth with more of us, more or less of us. Should people be tested? Wasn't there a movie about this? Wasn't there a movie with, there was a movie about it with and this lady, I don't even know her case. I don't even know what she failed on the test. I think from what I read, I believe she had some trauma in her youth. And that's pretty much almost everybody has had some sort of trauma. Maybe like, to varying degrees, but and if you're testing people on that shit, then a lot of people shouldn't be parents. If you've gone through some shit, then you're like, oh, well, you've had trauma, you shouldn't be a parent. That's literally all the population, a lot of the population, not a lot, not all of it. Let me just take that back before everybody, again, no nuance. You say, well, he just said all the population, there are plenty of people. No, everyone's trans now because of Cracker Barrel. Point is, I don't even know what the point is. The point is that, what are you even talking about? Yeah, give her a baby back, Greenland. Not many of you out there, dude. This is why we should take over, as the United States of America should take over Greenland, where everyone gets the right to have babies with Cracker Barrel. Free access to Cracker Barrel for life. That baby's gonna be traumatized, removed from the mother. Think about that. Like, we'll remove this baby from the baby. Doesn't know the mom's been through trauma. Babies don't know. The baby just recognizes mama's tits. That's it. Where's the baby getting its milk? Some random tit now? Greenland? Random tit babies? That's what you want in the future? Just use the mothers as just birthing devices, half bionic, half female birthing devices, and just rip them apart from their children and their children from their mothers. Or it could work out really well. It could go into like a beautiful society where sometimes some people are, that was hard to picture. I don't like the tests. Less tests. We'll take them all. The retarded, the physically and mentally retarded amongst, the rest of the people too. We'll take them all. That's what all of us say. Oh, it's all for one and one for all. Or something. Because that's the thing too. You should allow that, because at the end of the day, once it becomes like, once everybody starts splicing up genes and editing their babies, it's gonna be rare to see that one baby that's a little bit off. You're gonna want that, because everybody's gonna be uniform. In the future, everybody's gonna be uniform. Same look, same IQ levels. Everything's gonna be pretty much the same. Again, half bionic, half human, or maybe full bionic, just like a little bit of the human in there still. So every once in a while, you'd want somebody to have an off baby, just a little bit of a, because then everybody would just be coloring inside the lines. And that is fun, but sometimes you just want to fucking right there. See what happens. The point is that we're here, What else is going on in and around the world? Get a sip of this bad boy. Just want to let everybody know, remain calm, everyone. Remain calm. Despite the fact that we just had a severe dust storm here at Burning Man. I believe we're in Nevada right now, if I'm not mistaken. I might also be mistaken, so don't quote me on anything. The point is, and allegedly for everything. Moving forward, looking back, but staying present. Don't want you to concern yourself because of the dust storm that has hit Burning Man and has ruined our orgy dome. I look around us today and I remember a couple of years ago when there was heavy rainfall. And we lost a lot of good people that day in Burning Man. But today, we're facing new challenges. And there's a severe dust storm, and our orgy dome, we've set up these beautiful tents where people can gather and attend. You have to travel a really long time to get to the middle of the desert. Spend a lot of money to get there, but once you get there, you're not allowed to spend money. So it takes a lot to get there. But once you get there, then it's just we exchange. We believe in exchanging experiences for experiences. I eat your puss, you suck my dick. I, finger you, you come on my face. You squirt on my mouth, I jizz in your tits. It's all of it. It's how you listen to a lot of music, take a lot of substances, wear clothing, sometimes remove those said clothing items, and then get inside the tent, the orgy dome tent, and then have random, and that's been ruined by the dust storm. But I see people around me who are devastated, traumatized, a little bit heartbroken, because it's very difficult to have orgies in the orgy dome when there's dust all over your genitals. It reminds me of the time that we were just trying to have sex on the beach, which looks great on paper or on camera, but the experience itself leaves you a little bit chafed and perhaps bleeding from areas where you'd not like to bleed from. But does it produce good images? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Sex on the beach, imagery, scenery, aesthetic-wise, yes, good. The full experience by yourself? Not so much. Let's be honest. Unless you're into sand getting in your pee hole or your cock hole or your urethra, whichever one you like it. But nonetheless, I don't want anybody to panic. We will get this orgy dome going on back and running, and you'll be, I'll say this, God a lot of times tested or challenged his followers or maybe prophets at times. There was one of them at one point, God said to, maybe it was Daniel, maybe it was Isaiah, I don't remember, to be honest with you, but one of them at one point, I'm sure it was, the stories are in there, look for it. God said, do not doubt me, my son. I will ruin your orgy dome. Simply have faith in me and I will replace your regular orgy dome with an even better orgy dome. And the follower / messenger / prophet at the time had to, contemplate, do I, go make my own orgy dome once again, or do I leave it in the hands of God to see if I get an even bigger and better orgy dome? And Daniel or Isaiah, doesn't matter. The point is, waited and said, you know what, I'm going to have faith. And God came back and granted him an even bigger, shinier orgy dome. One orgy dome that will never be matched in human history. And God said, aha, look at this, my son, enjoy the orgy. Play it safe there, playa. Wear condoms, sheepskin condoms. Here's a ton of, and that's how the orgy dome was invented. But you gotta have faith. So we will get this orgy dome up and running again with more orgies and more domes. And just like Cracker Barrel, we're not gonna just come back regular. We're gonna actually, you know what? We're gonna take a note. We're gonna take a page out of Cracker Barrel's book here. If you thought we're gonna fight trans with, putting one Uncle Herschel in the, you thought wrong, because now it's just full blown. It's like 10 Uncle Herschels. You get so many Uncle Herschels in the logo, and you get more more barrels too, just more country, just fucking haystacks, maybe a couple of just, I don't know, banjos, whatever you like. Maybe just loose cattle, how about that? Just bring back the tradition. So we are not gonna just bring back the dome like a regular dome. We will bring it back, it'll be twice as big. It'll be more orgy filled. You're like, how could it be more orgy filled? This is the pinnacle of orgies. This is Burning Man. It's in the name, man. It's Burning Man, hence the orgies. Yes, there is a lot of burning after you leave Burning Man, but nothing that can be alleviated by taking proper medication. Do not, I repeat, dismiss regular medicine and, opt for holistic means that there's some things are meant to be dealt with antibiotics, all right? So just take it. Feel good about yourself. Not to say that holistic approaches are not suitable for treating others, but this in particular, my friend, is an STD, all right? Hence the orgy dome. But what happens in the orgy dome will only follow you if you don't nip it in the bud. It only gets worse if you just leave it off. So the point is that the orgy dome will come back. And friends, I'd like to invite you to the next Burning Man coming up in the following year, where we're gonna build sturdier orgy domes that will, the dust wind can, it can huff and puff and it can try to blow us away, but we will stand there, cock and badge out, 60-90 one another with our tents properly submerged into the ground so that it can't be blown away. Try, we say, and try and blow us away. Wind, dust wind, and that's us having faith, knowing that we will get this show up and running once again. So shout out to the men and women at Burning Man for holding it down, for holding down the orgy dome. Let's not forget what else is going on in and around the world. Snoop Dogg was just scared, all right? He was afraid. You've made one of our beloved pop cultural icons scared and terrified. Who did it? I don't know. I think maybe Disney. Disney scared Snoop Dogg, all right? Everyone's favorite gangster rapper, Snoop Dogg, beautiful, multifaceted art, musician, movie star, philanthropist, businessman, a community leader, amongst other things too. And somebody made him afraid. I don't know who made him afraid. There's not a lot of things that could make Snoop afraid. Snoop Dogg. Cause fucking shizzle, my fizzle, my dizzle, my gangsta shit. Right there. All of it. So there's not much that can get this man to be afraid, but one thing did scare him, and I think it was a movie, or it was probably a movie. Was it a Disney movie? What did you guys do to Snoop? What did you guys do to Uncle Snoop there? Fucking showed him the gay shit early, didn't you? You showed him that he went there for a movie and you showed him the gay shit, which probably led to questions from young family members, and that's, and now you've gone and done it now. You proud of yourself there? You're proud of yourself, leaving everybody confused? Dazed, maybe? Why is Snoop afraid? Because, yeah, questions were probably raised during watching a movie which had gay shit in it. And it was probably, I'm not even sure about the whole situation, to be honest. This whole section right here is all speculation, which is one of the pillars of this podcast, just pure speculation. Questions were raised. Questions like, Uncle Snoop, why do two ladies have a baby? Maybe something along those lines. And then Uncle Snoop didn't have an answer, one that was appropriate for the situation. Or maybe it was Dada, I don't particularly know. But questions were raised as to how could two ladies have babies, Uncle Snoop, Dada? Something along those lines, maybe. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. Maybe they were older. Maybe everyone was of age. Maybe everybody was just having regular questions as to why is this movie just putting in gay stuff? And the answer to that question is childhood is simple and not at all confusing whatsoever. The best thing we can do for children is to just put in a little bit more confusing media in there to just help them, because there's not, again, children are not confusing. Just childhood on its own is not difficult and or confusing at all. So what we like to do is we like to make it a little bit more complicated. Take the normal basic things and say that, but add a little bit of more complex ideas and subjects into the matter so that we keep these kids a little bit more confused, a little bit more, because again, it's not challenging enough. Childhood is not, again, questions that just occur on a daily basis from children, not challenging enough. Their bodies changing on a daily basis, not challenging enough. Not challenging enough, all right? Not confusing. Childhood is not confusing. You're not just wandering around what's going on. You're not just trying to figure everything out as a kid. So what we need to do is we need to just bombard the media as much as we can with gay shit. Just as much gay shit as possible. And the earlier, the better. The more you fight confusion with confusion, says Confucius. Want them to be not confused? Go ahead and confuse them yourself by showing them stuff that takes a little bit more maturity to explain, and probably that still, is difficult subjects. Pour it onto the youth and the young minds, because that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. I think Uncle Snoop Doggy Dogg, I think he was afraid, but rest assured, everything is done with intent. The intent is to confuse at an early age, so that you get them used to the confusion, so that they become consumers. Earlier, confused consumers. The more you confuse, the better it is to have a population that's eager to become consumers. Mind-numbing information just at a pace that they can't keep up, so that they're confused, overwhelmed with confusion. And then you just go through phases, just consuming different things, not knowing what or who you are, and just more of that, younger age confusion, a little bit more of that, sprinkle a little bit more ideology into their heads at a young age, and what do you get? Good consumers, solid, obeying consumers that can be swayed this way, that way, and not be able to think for themselves. You don't want independent thinkers that you just want massive amounts of people who are confused. Solid, reliable consumers who want change, but panic at the slightest sight of change. You want all of it. You want it all at the same time. I believe there is a case in Maryland, the first case that just broke out in Maryland, US. The first case of the flesh-eating bacteria made its way into Maryland, US. I don't know if we should be panicking right now, or if it's just because flesh-eating. I've heard of this shit. Maybe some of you have heard of this shit as well. It's working its way up from the southern areas it's coming in through Mexico. They found it on cattle. They found these screwworms on the cattle, which is flesh-eating bacteria. Parasites, rather. It was on the cows, but now they found it on a person, the first case in Maryland, and now it is flesh-eating parasite. What? Is that what we're going to be dealing with? Is this Is it a nothing? Is it nothing? Or are we low-key getting on just, should we be, is this peppering us in for the next thing to, I'm always looking for things. I'm sure that's one of the fun parts of looking at your own life stories and other global and local stories is trying to look for patterns and things that might pop off. Could we have another infectious disease breakout this time? It'll be, flesh-eating bacteria? No, maybe just a one-off? Or some sort of, larger false flag operation that caused them. We'll get into that. Who knows? Who knows? The point is that it's fleshy. That's fucking scary. Why do does that regularly exist in nature? Is that a thing? Do we always have, without us tweaking and doing any shenanigans? Does that just come up nature? Is that flesh-eating bacteria? Is that a thing? Because I didn't look into it. I'm not quite sure how this thing sprouts out. Or is it something that we've created thanks to somebody that I don't know? Did somebody create this shit in a lab once again, okay? Because once you fool me once. You know the saying. You fool around with me once, shame on you. You fool around with me a second time, shame on me. If you came back and we fool around for a third time, maybe we just like fooling around. Maybe I like rubbing your titties, maybe you like playing with my nuts. You fool around a fourth time. And a fifth time. And maybe take a little bit of time off, but then come back and you fool around with me a sixth time. Now, is this low-key getting into some sort of are we getting into a relationship at this point? Questions. I don't know what's going on in the UK. I don't know what's going on in Europe. I read things, I see things, and it's trying to make sense of it. A man was recently arrested in the UK for saying he loves bacon. If I'm not mistaken, he was cuffed. The video shows the man around an area with other people. They've gathered around a place in the UK where they were apparently there was a site that they had allocated to building a mosque or something, and then there was people, and this beautiful man said he loves bacon. Next thing you know, he's getting cuffed and taken away for saying he loves bacon in the United Kingdom, the UK. And I don't know what to make of that. And then you had that instant, and then next thing you know, I saw another video that popped up recently. There was a couple of young girls, and I believe this one was Scotland. Scotland was seeing maybe similar trends, which I don't know the full stories, I'm not there. These two young children, essentially young girls, they were being chased around apparently by groomer gangs or rape gang member, or I don't know. I don't know what is going on in the UK, but apparently these girls from the video are getting harassed by migrant rapists or groomers, I don't know, or perverts, whatever you want to call it, because the raping didn't occur at that time, but maybe it did. I don't know what happened. They're just perving on young underage girls, and the girls ended up getting arrested because one of them was slightly older than the other one. I think one was maybe 14, the other one was 12. The 14-year-old she had a knife and maybe a little axe with her, which she whipped out, and she was trying to protect herself and I believe it was her younger sister. But then apparently she got arrested for trying to protect herself and her younger sister for, alleged charges of carrying a weapon because she was trying to protect herself against getting raped or molested by migrant groomer gangs. I don't know what's going on in Europe. I know you got a lot of issues, just like every place has its issues. I believe there's a this is another, it's one of those things. So you do hear this, I do hear it recently. It's just been, migrant is it's just one of those words. Because every once in a while, you get a bunch of words. You got like, that pop off and it becomes a thing for a little while, So migrants is a hot one right now. It's a hot topic, migrants. And Europe has its issues. Yeah, Europe has its issues. I don't know what to think of this one, but clearly the obvious answer is that yes, we should protect groomer gangs and rapists, not just domestically, but foreign as well. Protect these groomer gangs. It is extremely hard for them to groom and gang and rape without the law having their back. Anybody who resists will be arrested, including children. It's a difficult market to get into. It's not like other gangs. Because other gangs have at least, I think, profits and money to be. I don't know what their bread and butter is. I've heard grooming gangs, I've heard rape gangs, or other gangs. They're like cartel, like deals in drugs and maybe weapons or human trafficking. Those are money makers. Grooming gang. These guys get together. I believe, I don't know these things, but that's what they're called. They're called grooming. And so they get together. Their only motive is to groom and rape. And there's not a lot of money in this. I don't know what so essentially they're in it for the love of the game. Essentially, they're doing it for no money. I believe these guys are doing it for no money. So you got to protect them and arrest individuals who, even if they're underage, even if they're being assaulted, arrest them and charge them, because at the end of the day, this is a niche market and it is extremely hard to get into. And if we don't look out for gang rapists or groomers, who will? That is obviously the question that must be tackled. It is it's a hot topic. It's a hot topic, right? It's a hot button issue. Because you do have migrants. You do have massive amounts of migrants coming into Europe, North America, and that gets, and this is it's one of those topics, one of those hot topics, issue from South America, from all over the world. And should you, it's, clearly looking at the whole big picture, Islam has really worked out really well for nations who practice it in large. Islam is thriving. Just take a look at all the thriving, Islamic nations. They are, so bring more of that in, support it. If it's gang-related activities, support that as well. I can't think of any other countries who are thriving as hard as Muslim nations are thriving. So please, whether it's allowing mosques to be built, whether it's allowing the hijab or the niqab or whatever whatever they call it, whether it's allowing that to take place on Western soil with Western, because you got to draw the line somewhere. You know what I mean? You got to bring in ideas that are thriving and working like Islam, and don't do anything about it at all. And just say, because you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be insensitive and rude and not seen as accepting. You don't want to seem like you're discriminatory. You don't want to come off as rude or racist. That would suck. That would suck to be. But what you want to do is you want to bring that in, ideologies that contradict Western values. You want to just bring in that. But then there's places where you got to draw the line, and then there's places where you got to draw the line. Like Cracker Barrel changing a logo, that's when you've gone too far. Muslim rape groomer gangs, that's something to be like, you know what, more of this stuff. So again, pick and choose what you will focus on, but at the end of the day, we got to do what's right. And the right thing to do is to, again, look at the evidence. It speaks for itself. If you want to be thriving like a Muslim nation, just bring more of it in and allow it to be. You're like, what about freedom of speech? What about multiculturalism? And these are all great questions which don't have simple answers. But one thing we could do is, again, focus our energy on arresting people who question things, who say things, put them behind bars. Children, specifically children, if they're like, oh, I don't want to get raped. Those they should be, and again, nuanced topic. Not to say that all they're beautiful. There's so many hundreds of thousands, millions of good migrants from all corners of the world with all sorts of ideologies, beliefs, ways of life, who are just contributing to wherever they go. And that is actually the story of humanity. If we're not all immigrants and migrants in some sense, that is, then what are we at the end of the day? Then I asked the jury. I don't know why it's got to be a jury. This isn't a courtroom, or it could it could be a courtroom. It could very well be a courtroom. But the point is that it's one of those topics, because it's I try to think of it and see why it takes place the way it does, because I'm not saying, by no stretch of the imagination am I saying I've got the answers or anything. It's never like that. I'm just trying. Why won't Western governments just say, hey, these are our values, this is our culture, just like any other place on earth, and just maintain those and not allow certain activities? But then again, there's a whole freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion. But some religions what if a religion is thriving too hard? You know what I mean? What if a religion is thriving a little bit too hard? Like maybe that one, maybe we like our own. Maybe dabble in, Western values, and, pick within the framework that's provided for you. There's freedom in that. Sometimes other religions, you're like, oh, it is thriving so hard. Let's have more of that. I don't know. It just leads me to think that it's either incompetence, which sometimes is the thing that people are people. People run things. People are incompetent at their jobs sometimes. They don't know what they're doing. They just say, bring everybody in. Let's not have any standards or values or anything. Just do it all. And you could blame it on people's, lack of ability to do a good job. That could be one. The other reason it could be like, let's bring it in. Let's bring all different sorts of ideas in. Let's have, social discontent and upheaval, chaos. And then whenever there's chaos, pit the populations, the working class, against each other using methods of division, like pitting them against each other based on race, religion, ethnicity, sex, gender, climate, Cracker Barrel, poop juice. There's no poop juice. But I'm just saying there could be poop juice. There could very well be poop juice in there. People who are either for or against poop juice. Well, I'm not gonna hang out with you if you don't drink poop juice. The more chaos you get, the more it allows for people to finally get fed up and be like, enough is enough, we need something to be done. And then that's when governments step in and say, step aside, the military's here to bring back order. Or something along those lines. The point is confusion from all sides. We all try to do our best, try to figure it out one step at a time. So yes, the moral of the story, the takeaway is to, support groomer/gang rape groups, cartels, groomer gangs. What else is going on? Thank you for the beautiful question. By the way, somebody came and asked, again, we do a lot of outreach programs on Gladyamadeit. Somebody put out a question, said, my cunt is itchy. What do I do about it? Rob, somebody said, thank you for that thoughtful question. I'm sure you're not the only one with a itchy cunt. It's extremely vulnerable for you to put yourself out there and say that you've got an itchy cunt. You're not alone. I just want you to reassure you that this is something you're going to get through. We are here with you. Let's just call you Melissa. It doesn't matter for the sake of maintaining anonymity. Melissa, your lovely, beautiful cunt is itchy. It happens to the best of us. I myself had an itchy cunt about 3 months ago. And the best thing I would suggest to you is just scratch it using either hand. Scratch it. A lot of times people are like, oh, it's itchy. Should I or should I not scratch it? Go ahead and scratch it. And then see how it feels. If the itchiness persists, take your cunt and just like rub it against something sharp, like a corner of a couch, or you know, maybe like just like take a fork and just kind of like, you know, scratch it with that a little bit. If it's still itchy, make like a bear, because they're always, you've seen them just grinding their backs up and down a tree. Make like a bear, find a good girthy tree and rub your itchy cunt against the tree. That should alleviate some of the spit on it a little bit prior to rubbing on the tree, because you don't want to get, you know, splinters. If you have a pet dog, I would recommend you just rub a little bit, just a thin layer of peanut butter on your cunt. Have the dog just go to town. That has helped a lot of people. If it's still with you, if the itch is not going, ask someone to scratch it for you. That's all, because a lot of times it's harder for you to see what's going on down there than it is for others to see. So never shy away from asking someone to scratch your cunt. It should never be we're all in this, we're all here for a limited amount of time. Okay, ask somebody for help. You're not gonna lose anything. There's no, you know, oh my, this is so embarrassing. It happens to a lot more people than you think. So ask somebody, okay? A relative, a friend, a stranger, a husband or wife, doesn't matter. Anyone you can find, ask them to scratch it for you and have a peek while they're down there. So thank you for that question. I hope this helps. And if it doesn't, you're all out of options. I would highly recommend just rip it off. Rip it off. Do you even need your cunt at this point? Okay. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, one of the other things that caught my attention was flag burning is now illegal, or at least there's a charge for it. I believe President Trump has made you're gonna get charged if you burn a flag, American flag, beautiful American flag, if you burn it. And this made me think about flag burning. Am I for it or against it? What are the pros and cons of it? What can people do if they want to burn a flag or they don't want to burn it? What do people, personally, how I feel about it, I'm not a flag burning kind of guy. I'm just not. Personally, I don't care too much for flags. I look at flags and they're kind of low key are like, they're designs, they're logos. To talk about a logo being, God, low key, full circle, a semicircle, not a full, but a semicircle nonetheless. The point is, it's a symbol. It's like a painting, but a symbol, a symbolic painting, but that represents a country. Overall, I'm not I'm team humanity first and foremost. One of the major pillars of this show is team humanity first and foremost. So yes, I do believe in nation states, but above that, probably humanity first. I'm not a nation states. I get it. I respect it. I like it. There's definitely aspects of it that I like and I enjoy. I'm not gonna, but humanity above, other things that separate us. Having said that, yeah, would I burn a flag? No. Do I support you burning a flag? No. Should people have the right to burn a flag? If you absolutely must, if that's your, I think it's been passed to law, so it doesn't even matter what I say. The point is that I don't think you should burn. I don't think you should burn any flag of any, unless they're like, oh, what if they're a horrible country? What if it's like and it's not like flags haven't changed. Flags have changed over time. So many flags have come and gone. So making things illegal it's a tricky one. Again, I wouldn't do it because it's just too much. Who buys a flag? First of all, I've not ever. I'm sure there's a ton of people that buy it, but then burning it's just that. But if you really must, and you want to, America's like the best country in the world. So like, wanting to burn that flag, especially if you're like American, that is odd. That is a little bit. You might have, nowhere's perfect, but to go burn a flag, that is, any people that burn a flag, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. I don't want to, what if it's done in like a movie or a music video or like an art scene of sorts, and you're like, oh, this thing was so touching, 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and then there was like 7 seconds or like 2 seconds of an image of a burning flag, and it touched me for whatever, I don't know. Or like a movie, and then the flag was burning, and then I'm like, oh my God, and then I got touched. But then, So if it's like done in an artful way, could it be, again, it's like, it is, I'm not for it. I don't recommend it. In case if you're that type of person that really wants to burn a flag, I would recommend maybe put like, find a terrorist. Everybody loves this one. Find a terrorist, maybe a bad migrant, maybe a bad migrant who maybe, doing work illegally, who is maybe low-key a terrorist. Send them, befriend them first. Befriend this terrorist. Give them an American flagged t-shirt. Pursue the relationship for several months. Once their situation blows up that they're known terrorists, pounce on their ass, beat them, because nobody cares about a terrorist. Beat their ass, and then set them on fire. Nobody cares about a terrorist, dude. It's okay to set a terrorist. Low key. If you find something that's gonna, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that's like one situation where you're like, yeah, that guy was, get that terrorist. Oh, burn that terrorist. People will say that. People get behind you. People will say, don't watch for the shirt. Watch for the shirt. The American flag's on it. He's wearing an American flag shirt. Don't get the terrorist, but save the shirt. You're like, it's too late. I can't help it. I gotta get both. I can't. I'm sorry, you guys. And then you burn the flag that's on the terrorist, but essentially you burn the terrorist. The flag was just a bystander or just, collateral. And that way you can be like, yeah, look, guys, fucking terrorists. But I'm sorry about the flag. Like, low key, deep down inside, you're sick, you sick son of a bitch. Your thing is fucking burning flags, and you can't share that with anybody though. But deep down inside, you got what you wanted. You got the terrorist, one, and then you burnt the flag, which, because of you killing the terrorist, outshines the burning of the flag. That's one situation where I could see you burning a flag where it's like, okay, you burned the flag, or she burned the flag, but it was for a good cause. You just regularly take an innocent, young flag away from his flag family and burn him and leave that flag family fatherless. Think of those young flags who now they now live in a single flag household. That one single adult flag is gonna have to take up extra shifts, and even that's not gonna be enough to supplement raising two young flags. It's gonna start having to, suck the boss off for a potential raise, and even that's probably not gonna be enough with today's inflation and high cost of living. So next thing you know, that young adult flag is gonna have to go downtown and maybe turn tricks. Whilst turning tricks, that young adult flag is getting hooked on drugs like methamphetamine, amphetamine, 2C, pink cocaine, fentanyl, although that seems to be still there, but not as much as it was a thing way, like a couple of years ago, everybody was just like, don't touch this bar of soap, it's got fentanyl in it, watch out, the fentanyl's about to explode, you're trans, Cracker Barrel, where's Uncle Herschel, everything is trans. And that's, point is, ladies and gentlemen, the point is that, it's, I don't have the answer. I'm very freedom oriented, but as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, as long as I believe you should be able to even hurt yourself, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. So with that being said, if you really want to I'm not for it. Again, the best way is to do it on a terrorist. To find a terrorist, suit him up in a flag, and fucking go to town, dude. Until next time, peace out.